Hello everyone, welcome back to the zoo. I'm Reckless and today we're taking another adventure into the Great White North. Today we're building a polar bear habitat. So the theme for this build, I really wanted to accomplish this underwater viewing area for the polar bear so the guests can walk in and underneath the water and have the bears swimming above them. I don't know if you've seen this done on other people's channels, but it's a feature that is made possible in this game, whereas in games like Planet Coaster, the water would be removed if you made any changes. In Planet Zoo, the water remains, so it allows us to create these cool underwater walkways in which your guests can use to view the animals. It took me absolutely ages, I'll tell you right now, to get the path at the right height, so where the guests can walk under here and the water will be at the appropriate level. So it does take some messing around with it, and I tried a couple different styles of containment, if you will, for this area before I finally landed on something that I liked, as you see me going through the different glass panes in the game here to try and see what style of design I wanted to go with. But all in all, I chose this, I believe it's the New World glass pane as the style I wanted to go with. I like this kind of mosaic glass, broken glass, however you want to look at it, kind of feel to it. I really like the look of it, so I decided to go with that. If you are looking to do an underwater habitat walkway like this, I recommend you check out Paul Lays. I don't know how to say his name. I apologize to you, sir, if I'm butchering your name. But he's a very popular YouTuber for Planet Zoo, and he creates some wonderful stuff. That's how I learned to make this underwater viewing walkway. But basically the concept is that you create your habitat design and you place the water, and then starting a couple path, I want to say squares back. So you move the path tool a few squares back from where you want the path to begin, and then you angle it down, slope the path tool down, and eventually you'll hit with some messing around. Like I said, it took me a few tries to get it right, but eventually you'll hit the appropriate height to where you can walk on the path and the water won't actually register. If you move your camera up inside the tunnel, there's like a barrier where eventually the water will appear. But anyhow, I don't actually know if I mentioned what animal is going in this habitat now that I come to mention it. Now that I'm thinking about it here, so this is our polar bear habitat. If I didn't mention that previously, there you go. I'm pretty sure this cave that I'm building here might have given that away, but you never know. So I wanted to go ahead and build the polar bear habitat to go along with the Arctic Pack DLC that has recently been released. I know you guys have been really wanting to see the polar bear. It's a fan favorite. And also, being that I am Canadian, some of the world's largest population of polar bears is in Canada, in the northern regions of Canada. I wanted to give you guys a few little tidbits of info about polar bears because they are an endangered species. They are threatened due to climate change, as well as man just impeding on their home territory. So polar bears are native to all of the Arctic region, and they are threatened. There's currently about 25,000 polar bears left in the world. That's all over the world, right? So that ranges from Canada, Norway, into Russia, anywhere that the Arctic stretches. By 2050, those numbers are predicted to decline by up to 30%. So, I mean, 25,000 is not a lot to begin with, and it's declining even further in the next couple decades if we don't shape up. Part of the problem is actually my country, and I'm kind of ashamed to say that, but Canada has long been a supporter, if you will, of the ability to hunt polar bears. There are certain tribes or people in the north that rely on animals of the Arctic for their survival, right? So, I mean, the polar bears might pose a risk to them for their safety, or just simply as a food source for the people who live there. But the biggest threat that I see to them is the sport hunting, right? Canada has allowed sport hunting of polar bear to go on for quite some time, claiming that it's done responsibly and everything like that. But each province or territory, rather, in the northern parts of Canada set their own quotas, if you will, for what is an acceptable amount of polar bears to hunt per year. And the way that they do it is they say that for every 2 males hunted, you're allowed to take 1 female, right? So their theory is that they're not taking as many females as males to allow the species to continue to reproduce. But polar bears only make babies once every 2 years. So if you're taking mothers out of the breeding pool, it's going to dilute the breeding pool. But also by hunting the males, you know, most people who hunt for sport are looking for a trophy, right? They're looking for a big animal, or there is also trade for polar bear skin rugs. So people use them as wall mounts or rugs. So people who do this style of hunting, you know, they're going to want to take large males, right? And if we learned anything about natural selection, is that, you know, the strong survive, the fit live on, right? And these large males, if they're getting taken out of the breeding pool, it's essentially dumbing down the natural selection of the polar bear gene pool, if you will, right? So as you can probably tell, I'm not a supporter of sport hunting in any way. I have hunted in the past, but it's simply for food, for consumption, right? I mean, we used to hunt small birds and deer in Canada when I was younger with my grandparents and uncles. But, you know, you'd get like 1 deer a year, or, you know, like you'd take a couple birds per hunt. But I mean, these are not endangered species. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually a detriment to the ecosystem if they aren't hunted. You know what I mean? Whereas polar bears, they're threatened, right? I do not agree with us hunting them when they're under, you know, like, not necessarily endangered. I don't believe they're endangered, but they're at risk, right? Like any animal that's at such a risk to not only our efforts, but to climate change, which, you know, to what degree you believe climate change is affecting the world, it's certainly having its effect on certain climates and certain animal species, and polar bears are one of them, right? So I think we should be doing more in the way of protecting this beautiful species. They're one of, I believe they are the largest land predator in, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but either way, they're one of the largest land predators on Earth, and to see them go the way of the dinosaur would be a loss to everyone, really. So I wanted to create this cool little habitat, and without being too preachy, just basically say, you know, like, there are cool organizations and stuff that actually are doing something to protect the polar bears. And if you want to donate to them, make sure that you do your research before donating to anyone. Make sure that it is an organization that is actually helping the animals in question and not just simply trying to provide awareness. But in my opinion, we should be doing more. So I recommend you, if you have some spare change, find a good organization to help these beautiful animals survive. So in the future, we can continue to enjoy them outside of zoos and zoo games, if you know what I mean. So anyways, that's my little rant there. I hope you guys like the polar bear facts. Just something a little bit different. I wanted to try to kind of bring a little bit more awareness to the animal in question, because they are a threatened species, so we can be doing more, As far as the build goes in game here, what we're seeing, I really wanted to create an Arctic kind of feel to this walkway. So I wanted to use a lot of this like timber wood that you're seeing here, some torches and ice cubes and stuff, to create like a feeling that this is a icy underwater walkway, right? And the panes of glass that I chose from the New World section, I feel fit this theme really well. It gives almost like a Frozen type effect. I don't know. I really like the way it turned out. I hope you guys appreciate it as well. But the polar bear animations and the models in this game are absolutely fantastic. Even like the way that polar bears swim is they use their giant front paws to paddle, and they straighten out their back legs like a rudder to guide them through the water. And the Frontier team has absolutely nailed that in their swimming animations. I think they've done a fantastic job with all the animals in game, but the polar bears are super, super cool. At this time, I just want to do the standard YouTube stuff and tell you, if you are liking the video, please do hit that like button and subscribe. It helps me a lot to get my channel noticed and have people come and view it via the traffic algorithms and whatnot of how YouTube does their thing. As of the last video I posted, we have currently achieved 100 subscribers on the channel here. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that hit that subscribe button. It really means the world to me. I showed all my friends and even my mother that I had achieved 100 subs. I mean, I know in the scheme of things, it's not a lot, but to me, each and every one of you guys is special for liking what I do and wanting to stick around to see more. So I appreciate you guys being here, and I hope you enjoy the videos to come. If you're not a part of the family yet, please do hit that sub button. You won't regret it, and you can join our Discord. Come on there and show your own zoos, link any pictures you've got, ask fellow creators for advice on a build you may have or anything like that, or just simply, chew the fat, get to know some people in the community. So feel free to join the Discord. The link is down in the description below. I hope you guys are enjoying the Arctic DLC in its entirety and all the new building pieces that they've added to the game. Over 200 pieces. I've had a few questions of people not only asking me if they should get the Arctic DLC pack, but whether they should buy Planet Zoo in general. And my answer is a resounding yes to both. Right? Definitely pick up the game. I mean, this game is absolutely fantastic. I am loving every second of it. And as far as the DLC goes, only you can answer that, right? If you want to add a little bit more to the base game, you want to have these building pieces, these extra animals and stuff like that, only you can answer that, right? But I personally like the new pieces they added, and I have some cool ideas for builds using even more parts of them as we go along. So either way, definitely pick up the game. It's up to you on the DLC. It's a paid DLC, so I can't speak to your financial situation, but for $10 you get your money's worth, in my opinion. Aside from that, last video I asked you guys if you wanted me to continue our big zoo, or if I should move the last section of the world, be it Asia, to a new biome, a new map. And I've got a few direct messages and a couple comments saying that you guys would think it's a good idea to start on a new map. So that's what we're going to do. For now, the old zoo is going to be finished. I'm going to polish it up. I'll give you guys a zoo tour. And then we're going to be moving on to a new Asia map. So stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button if you want to keep on top of that. And I'll be posting some pictures and such in Discord for those who are there to kind of get a sneak peek into what's coming next. But either way, I hope you guys enjoy this polar bear build. I think it turned out really good. I didn't focus so much on the landscaping of the water area, which I should have done prior to doing any changes. As you know, once you start adding things, you can't change the terrain. You see me here trying to adjust it, but it's a little futile in the water. But either way, I'm pretty happy with how this polar bear habitat turned out. If you guys do like it, be sure to comment down below and let me know what you think. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a happy holidays, and stay tuned for the next video. I'm Reckless. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.